Hello and welcome. My name is Art Jones, and this is Art Jones TV. And this is a Hangout on Air where we're talking about wellness through movement. And, well, we'll tell you a little bit more about that, but I guess I should tell you a little bit about me that if you're new to our channel, you might not know. I'm the founder of the Art of Inbound Marketing, which is a full-service agency that helps brands get found by their ideal prospects on and offline. And one of the things that, as a problem solver for businesses and helping them market their brands with brand strategy and storytelling and SEO and PPC and website design and all the things that we do, we're very aware of the challenges in business today. And the business people that work within those businesses, how challenged they are to be resilient and to be able to roll with the punches that the marketplace brings at them every day. Because the marketplace is a much more dynamic place this century than it was in the previous century. Why? It's largely because of this kind of technology. This smartphone that I have, this ginormous Galaxy Note 3, is more powerful than IBM computers that cost much more and were the size of the room that I'm sitting in just 20, 30 years ago. We are in a time of what some refer to as digital Darwinism. And that's when technology advances at such a rapid pace that people and businesses can't keep up. And what that creates is flux. And flux is, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and I have to be prepared and ready and resilient to roll with the punches, whatever the market brings. And to roll with the punches, it requires a special regimen. And that's why we're delighted to have Shawn Terrell, who's the founder of The Movement, which is a bodywork practice here in Tucson, Arizona. And by way of introduction, I can simply say that Shawn's practiced Swedish massage for 17 years. He's been a Thai bodywork practitioner for 7 years. Before he started all the bodywork, he was a personal trainer where he worked with people doing lunges and cardio and squats with heavy weights. And I think that's when he says that he learned that the body didn't need to just be strong. It needed to be able to move through its full range of motion and be able to move through its generational changes. Someone 17 needs something different than somebody that's 77. And well, I'm just someone that cares about wellness and mindfulness. Shawn Terrell is a practitioner that does it every day. So let's welcome Shawn to our on-air time and have him tell us about The Movement, his business, a little bit about himself, and well, Shawn, introduce yourself and say hi.
Hello, Art. Good to be here today.
Fantastic. Shawn, I think, tell us about The Movement and why the name The Movement is part of your practice.
The Movement is my private practice where I do Thai massage as well as Swedish. The name came about because it is something to be mindful about, of keeping your body moving in every way that it can. The work that we do specifically is geared towards the hip and shoulder flexors to open up, increase the range of motion, and in doing so, lengthening the muscles and balancing out the body. In these ways, it allows you to actually feel like you have more space in your body, which in return opens the mind and kind of broadens your view on things. It doesn't make you feel so overwhelmed or compressed, I guess you might say.
That's interesting that you say that, because in recent history I've done a fair amount of reading. Academics at MIT and Stanford and Columbia University and trade journals like Fast Company and Wired Magazine that are talking about things going on in Silicon Valley and in New York and Silicon Alley, where it's fast-paced, high-pressure, high-stakes business. What they're all saying is that those businesses are paying an awful lot of attention to this Eastern notion of mindfulness, because mindfulness is bringing them closer to being more creative and innovative, but most importantly, allowing them to be resilient to deal with the digital Darwinism that I talked about earlier. You just mentioned mindfulness and bodywork as a pathway to mindfulness. Why don't you talk a little bit more about that and what how bodywork leads to mindfulness?
As we become more internally aware of what's going on within our own bodies, we have a greater sensitivity, not only just to ourselves, but to everyone else around us, everything else around us. And that internal connection starting out within ourselves increases our connection with everything else around us. And that type of mindfulness is what I think gives the edge in a lot of businesses today.
I think you're right, and certainly the pundits and the academics and the business people that are taking breaks to go do yoga. They're inviting body movement practitioners like yourself into the office and making them part of the team is an important consideration for businesses that are trying to stay at the head of the pack, to advance and always be competitive. I think they need to think about wellness as part of the equation. It's no longer hiring the best talent and providing them with the best tools. It's thinking about wellness as a benefit, health and wellness, like a recognition that your team is really integral to your success. And that's why I'm starting and adding wellness as a component of the Idea Lab and the Hangouts that we do, because as an idea, I think it's central to individual, business professional, and business success. Because we're sitting here in Tucson, and I know you're very knowledgeable about the wellness community here. Can you take a minute and talk about some of the things that you see going on? I know that there's acupuncture, there's body work, there's other modalities. How available is it in the general marketplace? And as the audience is listening, how available is it? Can they get it in their home? Can they get it in their office? Can they go to a storefront? And when they do find the practitioner, what should they look for as a key component of how do I choose a good one? It's the same thing. Choosing a consultant, there's criteria.
Yes.
And choosing a bodywork practitioner, there's criteria that should be important. And I know you can educate our audience and tell them what you believe is important in that category.
I would say first off in choosing, and like you said, it's everywhere now. It's coming into the actual your workspace. There's floor managers that they'll have someone there on the floor. You can bring it into your home. You can go into a storefront or just a private practice. But I think wherever you go, whoever you're looking to hire to kind of help you along that journey of becoming more mindful, you want to first of all make sure there's someone that practices what they preach. There's a lot of good individuals out there, almost like you were saying with the corporate world, that have the education and they maybe have the experience, but if they don't have that little bit of extra edge of being mindful in this new work environment, then they themselves aren't going to take you to that next level, your business. And it's that same way with your therapist. If he's someone that does the work for others but is not doing it for himself, then he himself isn't practicing mindfulness, which is something that you're going to want to embrace. So he's not really going to be able to take you there. I guess a second thing to look for is someplace or someone that has provided a comfortable setting, someplace you can relax. A lot of people are good with the clinical, sterile type environment you might find in a chiropractic office, which have a lot of body workers there as well. You may find a lot of acupuncture offices, clinics that have that sterile, the traditional Western medicine. You go into the hospital feel. Some people are comfortable with that. Some people will need a more warmer environment, and a lot of practitioners are providing that. You have a lot of chiropractors and acupuncturists who are providing that type of warm environment versus a clean, sterile environment. I'm not saying the warm's not clean, but it's the warmth to it. It's not cold. Cold might be a better word than sterile. I think that would be a second thing to look for, because that's very important to your relaxation, your level of being able to drop in deeper and deeper into your own internal awareness, increasing your mindfulness.
Well, isn't it? I mean, in my understanding, there are different, what you might refer to as modalities, where you have body work where it's hands-on, and there's body work that's deep tissue where you might need to take your shirt off and get under a blanket. Can you describe for the audience a couple of the different modalities and what they can expect? And maybe for somebody that's new that says, I think this body work sounds like if it can help me be more resilient and help me be more mindful, I want to try it. But I'm not real keen on what I understand is just being naked under a blanket. What choices do I have?
Yeah. Swedish massage, table massage, which most people are familiar with, and Thai massage, which is done on a comfortable mat, are two different types of body work. Thai massage is energy work. Table massage is more structural, focusing more intent on bone and muscle on the table, and on the mat, energetically looking to balance out the body. And like I said, that's all intent of the therapist. On both being done, it's pretty much the same work. It's just the intention that the therapist is working with. The Thai massage is an energy modality. You're fully clothed. Table massage is where you would get disrobed and you'd be under the sheets the whole way. But there shouldn't be anything to keep you from doing the table massage. I mean, at any one time, it's like your arm is exposed, only your arm, or your leg, or your back. So, I mean, if you've ever been to the beach, you've exposed more, of your body at the beach than you would on the table. It's just a matter of being comfortable in that setting with another therapist, a person in the room with you.
Well, Shawn, expand on this notion of energy modality. I'm not sure I'm clear on what exactly you mean by Thai massage as an energy modality. Is that help me understand.
Energy modalities are modalities that have the intent on working along the meridian lines, energy lines, or lines of the body. That's their focus. I mean, on the surface, they both look the same. It looks like you're being massaged, but that's what I said. It's the intent of the practitioner where his focus is at. So energy modalities are things like acupuncture, acupressure, Thai massage, of course, like I said, shiatsu, Reiki. All these are things where you're fully dressed. The difference between the two is just that table massage, other stuff like neuromuscular therapy, those things are working more on the muscles and bone, the attachments and origins of those areas, where energy work is looking to open up channels. It's looking to find channels that are closed down and looking to open them up to balance out the body.
That's very good definition, and it makes me think of, I do a little yoga occasionally, I do some Tai Chi, and when I think of those practices of mine, I really am thinking of the acupuncture charts that you see where all the meridians in the body are connected, and when you exercise them, you are more functional, more capable and you're exercising your body in a complete way when you are attempting to get those meridians all actively engaged. And it sounds like Thai massage and some of the others that you named, the energy modalities, use those meridians that run throughout the body as the pathway or the roadmap to opening power.
Yes. Yes, it's almost, that's a good example that you were saying, yoga or Tai Chi that you see individuals doing in the park every now and then. Those are good examples of the difference between energy versus structural massage. You can do those things. You can do yoga, you can do Tai Chi in just a structural way where it's just your body moving. That's your only mindful focus. Or you can take it to a little bit deeper internal awareness and actually feel that flow, as you were saying, as you're thinking of the charts, the meridian charts. Think of how that flow is moving through your body. The more you drop in, the more awareness you have, the more mindfully you will be. These, like I said, the charts show the body, but energy lines flow everywhere around us. You know, a lot of people pick up on it. They may say, you know, I get a good vibe from that individual. You know, that individual is very tuned into himself. You know, you feel more relaxed around some people than other people. You know, that's an energetic exchange between the two of you. And that's something I think in the business world, when they talk about mindfulness, that they're trying to key in on. You know, if you can feel into an individual, make them feel relaxed, you know, as you're doing business with them, it just makes things go that much better.
Yep. Yep. That's very, very well said. And you know, I spend a lot of time talking to, in my professional and personal life, I spend a lot of time thinking about making meaning. And the way I make meaning in my life is, I've been a wellness devotee for a long time. I mean, I try to eat well, I try to exercise, and I'm aware of different ways that I can stay active even as I age. And I know there are a lot of people that don't know that. And that's one reason for starting this channel, to share what people like you do as a service to help them optimize the one body that we are given and keep it functional for as long as we can. In medicine, there's an article that was written, I think, 2 years ago, and a Forbes magazine article, and it said that the empowered patient is the wonder drug of the 21st century. And what the writer meant was that being a person or patient, hopefully you don't have to become a patient, but just being a person that is aware of the body's needs for food, exercise, oxygen, you know, all those basic things, and then making sure the body gets it. You will become more in tune, you become much more empowered, and then when you do become a patient, understanding the body, you'll be able to communicate with the clinician or the practitioner from the medical community in a way that it becomes a collaboration. And when you partner with the medical practitioner, you are embracing them as a team member. So the internal medicine person, whatever their specialty, becomes part of your team to help you manage your care, and that's what empowered patient, the wonder drug of the 21st century, is all about. And I mention that because I believe when you think of the team of people the empowered patient surrounds themselves with, it should include people that do power massage, the body work. It should include nutritionists, and I know you and I have chatted just briefly about nutrition, and I know that's a large part of your personal practice, but something that you're very knowledgeable about. Each of us has that responsibility to be an optimal employee, to be an optimal leader of a business. This is how we optimize and remain mindful and energetic and able to perform at the maximum levels every day by being empowered and taking control. And I would guess that you agree with this notion of the empowered patient forms a team of people, body workers, internal medicine, dentists, nutritionists, all those things that help them know more about what they need to know to get optimal performance for the maximum duration out of the one body that we get for our time here.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you're saying, and I see that in my own practice. I have a group of people that I refer clients to as things in their body are unwinding, as their mind is opening up more, and they're able to either accept more or they're needing to move in another different way, another direction. You know, I'm a Thai therapist. I'm not a chiropractor or an acupuncturist. But if I see something as far as alignment goes structurally within their body, I'll refer them, you know, to a chiropractor. Or energetically, if I see something that necessarily I can't open up because it needs more precise pinpointing, I'll send them to an acupuncturist. So the collaboration with my clients, it's along those lines as well. It's not so much just me doing something for them or doing something to them, but them themselves working together hand in hand with me. And as their body unwinds, letting their mind open up to the possibilities of everything else they need to move into to continue the journey along.
Yeah, and we agree on that notion of empowerment, and a team that collaborates to keep you well is so important. And Shawn, I want to say thanks. I know you're busy, and I appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with me and our audience, with the intent to help them find the alternatives to channels for them to employ to find that optimal state of wellness that helps them accomplish more in their personal and professional lives. So thanks, and I hope I've enjoyed the conversation, but I hope you have too, and I hope that we can encourage you to come back and tell us more about your practice. And everyone should know that on the events page, you can find how to contact Shawn, phone number, website addresses, and Facebook page, and all those things. Because if you've enjoyed the conversation like I have, you'll probably want to know how to contact him as well, to ask questions and to learn more. So, Shawn, thank you.
Thank you, Art.
Any closing comments?
None at all. I'd like to say thank you for having me here. I'd like to say I enjoy being here. I think it's a great thing that you're doing. Education as far as our health and our wellness is, I think, a very big thing that more and more individuals need to start tuning into.
Well, fantastic. Thanks again for joining. And to everyone tuning in, I've got my favorite mug, and I've begun drinking a little more coffee, which is surprising to me because generally I don't, but this is Tavana tea, and it's delicious. So as you're watching this, get your favorite mug, put your favorite beverage inside, and sit down and spend the 15 or 20 minutes with us here on the Wellness Channel at Story Formula for Business, the Idea Lab. And hopefully we'll get Shawn back, and maybe Shawn can recommend other practitioners that we should encourage to join the conversation to help us learn more, to exchange the knowledge that we need to become the empowered patients that we all should be. So everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Shawn. And we'll see everybody next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.